Welcome to the Fire Squid Capital Funding Edge, where we talk about alternative lending strategies to help get you funded quickly.
You got it.
Today, we're going to do a deep dive into commercial investment property loans.
Okay.
The ones that entrepreneurs use to buy or renovate or even build commercial spaces.
Yeah, these are a bit different from your typical home loan.
Totally different. So what are the big differences, and why should our listeners care about this?
Well, think of it this way. A commercial property, it's not just a building, it's a way to make money.
Right.
And that's what lenders are looking at.
Yeah.
They don't just care about your personal finances. They want to know if the property can bring in enough cash to cover the loan payments.
So the property itself is like a really important part of getting the loan.
Exactly. And that's where preparation comes in big time.
Okay.
Fire Squid Capital's research actually shows that a crazy 80% of initial loan applications are rejected.
80%.
Yeah, 80%, because the financial information is either incomplete or just not clear enough.
Whoa, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, it is.
So getting it right from the start is super important.
You can't just throw your tax returns at a lender and hope for the best.
Right.
You need to tell a convincing story with your finances, something that shows you're strong and stable.
Okay, so what does a convincing financial story look like in this situation? Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say we've got an entrepreneur, someone like Sarah, who wants to buy a retail space.
Okay.
Just showing her tax returns. That might not be enough, but if she can show that her business revenue has been growing consistently, let's say 20% year over year for the past 3 years, that tells a much stronger story about her ability to pay back the loan.
I see. So it's about going beyond just the basic numbers and really painting a picture of a solid financial track record.
Exactly. And that's what Fire Squid Capital is really good at.
Yeah.
They help borrowers through this whole process to make sure they're putting their best financial foot forward.
To get more information about Fire Squid Capital and its lending products, visit firesquidcapital.com.
So we've talked about the borrower's finances.
Yeah.
What about the property itself? How does that play into getting the loan?
Right. Good question.
Well, that's where the property appraisal is super important.
Okay.
It's not just about what the property is worth right now,
Right.
but also about what it could be worth in the future.
Got it.
For example, let's say an independent appraisal shows that a property could increase in value by 15% after renovations. That could really boost your chances of getting a loan.
It makes sense that lenders want to be sure the property is a good investment, not just today, but also down the line.
Yeah, and the data shows that properties with an appraisal that's 5 to 10% over market value, they're actually 35% more likely to get approved for a loan. So that's a big advantage.
Huge advantage. Okay, so we've got the borrower's financials.
Yes.
We've got the property's appraisal. What's the third piece of the puzzle that lenders are looking for?
The third and arguably the most important piece is the business plan.
Okay.
Especially for new businesses, lenders really need to see a detailed plan. Like, how are you going to manage the property? How are you going to attract tenants? How are you going to make a profit?
Right.
And ultimately, how are you going to pay back the loan?
So it's like putting it all together, right?
Yeah.
The borrower's track record, the property's potential, and a clear vision for making it all work.
Exactly. And there's a good reason why borrowers with a solid business plan are 40% more likely to get approved.
That makes sense.
It shows that you've really thought things through, and that builds confidence for the lender.
This is really helpful information.
Good.
I feel like we're giving our listeners a secret weapon for getting these loans. Now let's talk about the different types of commercial investment property loans.
Okay.
It can be a bit of a jungle out there with all the different structures and terms.
It definitely can be.
Yeah.
Fire Squid Capital's research actually shows that a whopping 50% of first-time commercial investors choose the wrong loan structure.
50%.
Yeah, it's a big number.
That's a big reminder that we need to really understand the ins and outs of each loan type.
Yeah.
And how it fits with our investment strategy.
Exactly. Let's break down some of the most common options, starting with amortizing loans.
Okay.
These are kind of like your classic mortgage. You make regular payments that cover both the principal and interest over a set period of time.
Okay.
They're predictable, which a lot of investors like because they like stability.
So they're good for someone who's okay with building equity a little slower and wants those fixed monthly payments.
Exactly. But you got to think about if you can handle the upfront costs that come with amortizing loans.
Right.
If not, there might be other options that fit your finances better right now.
That makes sense. Now, what about interest-only loans? When would those be a better choice?
Interest-only loans are a bit more specialized.
Okay.
You only pay interest on the loan for a certain period, usually the first few years.
Uh-huh.
This can be a good thing for investors who need more cash flow up front, or those who are planning to renovate and resell quickly, like, property flippers.
So it's a way to keep costs down in the beginning and have more cash on hand for those early stages of the investment.
Exactly. But with interest-only loans, you absolutely need a clear exit strategy.
Okay.
Because eventually you'll have to either refinance or pay back that principal all at once.
Good point. All right, let's move on to balloon payment loans.
Okay.
Those sound a little intimidating.
They do sound a bit dramatic.
What's the deal with those?
Well, they're similar to interest-only loans in that they start with lower monthly payments.
Okay.
But the catch is that the entire remaining balance comes due all at once at the end of the loan term.
So it's higher stakes, but with potential for higher rewards too.
You could say that they can be really good for investors who have a solid exit strategy.
Uh-huh.
Like if you're planning to sell the property before that big payment comes due,
Okay.
then you benefit from those lower monthly payments and could maximize your return.
Got it. So it's all about matching the loan structure with your investment goals and your timeline.
Exactly. Now, tell me about variable rate loans. Those seem like the wild cards in the mix.
Yeah, they do.
Variable rate loans are definitely for investors who are comfortable with a bit more risk.
Okay.
The interest rate goes up and down based on what's happening in the market,
Right.
which means your monthly payments could change over time.
So a potential gamble, but maybe with the possibility of some big wins too.
Yeah, exactly. If prime rates are low, a variable rate loan can be really attractive,
Uh-huh.
but you have to be prepared for the possibility that rates could go up in the future,
Right.
which could mean your monthly payments increase quite a bit.
It's a balancing act between risk and reward, like a lot of things in finance.
Exactly. And this highlights why it's so important to work with a lender who really understands these things.
Yeah.
Someone like Fire Squid Capital.
Right.
They can help you analyze the market, assess your risk tolerance, and ultimately choose the loan structure that's the best fit for you and your goals.
That's great advice. It sounds like there's a loan structure out there for pretty much every investor and every strategy.
I think so.
It's all about finding the right one and having the right guidance to get there.
For sure.
To get more information about Fire Squid Capital and its lending products, visit firesquidcapital.com.
Now, one of the biggest pain points in traditional lending is time.
Yeah.
Traditional banks are notorious for taking forever to approve loans,
Totally.
which can be a real killer for investors, especially when a great opportunity comes along.
It seems like Fire Squid Capital has figured out a way around this.
Yeah, they've got a super fast approval process.
They do tell us more about how they managed to do that.
Well, they've streamlined their lending process to make it really efficient and agile.
Okay.
They actually average 35% faster loan approval times compared to those traditional banks.
Wow, it's a total game changer.
It is.
That means investors can jump on opportunities right away and avoid those long wait times. But it's not just about speed, right? Fire Squid Capital also focuses on providing personalized service throughout the whole process.
Absolutely. They've got a team of dedicated experts who work directly with each borrower. They provide guidance, they answer questions, they basically hold your hand every step of the way.
That's great.
They actually proactively walk borrowers through each critical step, so the experience is smooth and stress-free.
So it's like having a trusted advisor right by your side.
Pretty much.
Someone who knows all the ins and outs of commercial lending and can guide you with confidence.
Exactly. And that personal attention is really valuable, especially for someone who's new to commercial investing.
Yeah.
It can feel overwhelming.
Let's talk about flexibility for a minute.
Okay.
One size doesn't fit all in commercial lending.
Nope.
And Fire Squid Capital seems to really get that.
They do. They recognize that every investor has unique circumstances, goals, and property types.
Right.
So they offer a variety of lending solutions, all tailored to those individual needs.
It's about finding the perfect match between the borrower, the property, and the loan structure.
Exactly. And their success rate really shows that they're good at this.
Yeah.
Fire Squid Capital has a 90% success rate in putting together loans that meet both the borrower's needs and the investment's potential.
That's impressive.
It is. It shows how well they understand the market, their ability to assess risk, and their commitment to finding solutions that work for everyone involved.
It's clear why they're becoming a go-to for investors.
They've definitely built a strong reputation as a trusted and innovative partner.
I love a good success story.
Me too.
And Fire Squid Capital has some amazing ones.
Yeah.
You know, stories that show how they help investors and turn their dreams into reality.
Right.
Are you ready to hear about David and Maria?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I always love to see how the right financing can unlock incredible potential.
Okay, so let's start with David.
Okay.
He had this amazing vision for turning an old, unused warehouse
Mm-hmm.
into a bustling marketplace. He wanted to call it the Brick and Mortar Collective, a place for local artists, food vendors, and small businesses
Yeah.
to showcase what they do and connect with the community.
Sounds great.
It was a fantastic idea, but he faced some challenges.
Yeah, that's where those common challenges we talked about earlier often come up.
Exactly.
What kind of obstacles did David run into?
Well, he didn't have a lot of experience with commercial lending.
Right.
He was a successful entrepreneur, but this was a whole new world for him.
Mm-hmm.
And to make things more complicated, the property needed a lot of renovations,
Okay.
which meant more complexity and more cost.
Those are definitely common challenges.
Yeah.
I bet navigating all the different loan structures just added to the confusion.
Yeah. They can be a lot to handle, especially for someone who's new to it all.
So how did David deal with all of this? How did he find his way through?
That's where Fire Squid Capital came in.
Okay.
They saw his vision, they saw his potential, and they worked with him to create a financing solution that made sense for his situation.
It's so important to find a lender who sees the big picture and believes in the project, not just the numbers on a spreadsheet.
Right. And that's exactly what Fire Squid Capital did for David.
For him.
They gave him a commercial investment property loan that not only covered buying the warehouse, but also included money for those renovations.
So they basically became a partner in his venture.
Yeah, in a way, and the results were amazing.
That's great.
Within 6 months of getting the loan, the Brick and Mortar Collective opened up
Wow.
to rave reviews exceeding everyone's expectations.
That's fantastic.
It's incredible how the right financing can really help fuel these dreams.
Yeah, it really is.
And the success didn't stop there.
Oh, wow.
David's revenue went up by 40% in the first year after opening.
That's amazing.
And he was even able to complete the second phase of his expansion within 18 months.
That's a testament to his hard work, his vision, and of course, Fire Squid Capital's belief in him.
All right, now let's talk about Maria.
Okay.
She had this dream of creating the culinary hub,
Oh.
a lively food hall with all sorts of different cuisines
Uh-huh.
and a space for the community to come together.
Sounds delicious.
She found the perfect spot, a big abandoned warehouse in an up-and-coming part of town.
I love those kinds of spaces.
Yeah, but just like David, she hit some roadblocks along the way.
It sounds like she had a clear vision, but I imagine getting financing for such a unique project wasn't easy.
It wasn't.
What were some of the obstacles she had to overcome?
Well, she ran into skepticism from traditional lenders.
Okay.
They weren't quite sure what to make of her idea,
Huh?
and they were hesitant to bag something that was a little outside the box.
That makes sense. Traditional lenders often struggle with ventures that don't fit their usual categories.
Right.
They might have a hard time figuring out the risk involved with something really innovative.
Exactly. And on top of that, Maria felt overwhelmed by all the complicated parts of the lending process, all the financial jargon, the paperwork, the lack of clear guidance.
It can feel like a maze.
Yeah, it was almost enough to make her give up on her dream.
That's understandable. It can
Yeah.
be really disheartening.
But then she found Fire Squid Capital, and everything changed.
Oh, I love a good turnaround story.
E2.
Tell me how Fire Squid Capital made things better for her.
Well, they really took the time to understand her vision, her business, her financial situation, and her goals.
Uh-huh.
They didn't just see a risky project. They saw a chance to help an entrepreneur and make a positive impact on the community.
It's that human touch that can make all the difference.
It really does, and Fire Squid Capital gave Maria more than just funding.
That's awesome.
They offered support guidance and a clear path to success.
Wow.
They helped her create a solid financial plan, guided her through all the loan options, and made sure she felt confident every step of the way.
It sounds like they really went above and beyond.
They did, and Maria's story has a happy ending.
Good.
Within a year of getting her loan, she opened the Culinary Hub,
Great.
a successful food hall that exceeded everyone's expectations. It became a commercial success and a vibrant hub for the community.
That's fantastic.
It's a testament to her dedication, her vision, and Fire Squid Capital's commitment to empowering entrepreneurs.
It's amazing what can happen with the right support.
I agree, and the numbers show just how successful she is.
Oh, yeah.
Maria's monthly revenues are actually 30% higher than she initially projected.
That's awesome.
It really shows the power of having the right financial partner in your corner.
These stories are so inspiring. They show the impact that access to capital and supportive partnerships can have.
Yeah, they're great reminders that with the right support, even the most ambitious dreams can come true.
Absolutely.
David and Maria's journeys offer valuable lessons for anyone thinking about getting a commercial investment property loan.
For sure.
And we'll be sharing some pro tips inspired by their experiences right after this quick message.
Sounds good.
To get more information about FireSquid Capital and its lending products, visit firesquidcapital.com.
Welcome back to FireSquid Capital Funding Edge. David and Maria's stories, they really highlight the importance of preparation and finding the right lending partner.
Yeah, they do. Their stories are inspiring, but they also show how crucial it is to be prepared.
Right.
So what steps can people take early on to set themselves up for success?
One of the most important things is to talk to a lender early on.
Okay.
Even if you're just starting to brainstorm, don't wait until you found the perfect property.
Okay.
Reach out to FireSquid Capital early, have those initial conversations.
Got it.
They can help you figure out if you're financially ready, explore different loan options, and really guide you through the whole process.
So it's like having a financial roadmap before you even start the journey.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What else should people be thinking about in those early stages?
Another important thing is to get your finances in order.
Okay.
Lenders want to see a clear picture of your financial health.
Right.
That means keeping good records and being able to present them in a way that shows your strengths.
So it's not just about having the numbers, it's about presenting them the right way.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the value of getting expert advice throughout the process.
Yeah, good point.
FireSquid Capital specializes in guiding borrowers through all the complexities of commercial lending. They can help you understand the different loan structures, assess your risk tolerance, and find the best financing solution for your goals.
It's like having a guide in uncharted territory, helping you avoid those pitfalls and make smart decisions.
Exactly.
You know, I'm curious about something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
FireSquid Capital's willingness to work with entrepreneurs who have unique visions. What sets them apart in that regard?
Well, FireSquid Capital isn't looking for cookie-cutter projects.
Okay.
They're actually looking for entrepreneurs with bold ideas, people who are passionate about making a difference.
Right.
They know that innovation often falls outside the comfort zone of those traditional lenders.
So they see potential where others might only see risk.
Exactly. That's what makes them such a great partner for investors who are looking to push boundaries and create something truly special.
It's refreshing to see a lender that prioritizes the human element and understands that entrepreneurs are more than just numbers.
It is.
Speaking of refreshing, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor.
Okay.
To get more information about FireSquid Capital and its lending products, visit firesquidcapital.com.
Welcome back to FireSquid Capital Funding Edge. Let's talk about due diligence.
Okay.
It's a really important part of getting a commercial investment property loan.
Yes. Due diligence. Why is it so important? And what should investors be focusing on when they're looking at properties?
Due diligence is all about doing your homework before you buy something big.
Okay.
You need to thoroughly research the property, the market, and the financials to make sure you're making a smart investment.
So it's about looking beyond the surface and making sure there aren't any hidden problems.
Exactly. And FireSquid Capital can be super helpful during this process. They have experts who can help analyze the property's financials, assess its market value, and point out any potential risks or opportunities.
It's like having a second set of eyes, a more experienced perspective.
That's a good way to put it.
What are some specific things investors should focus on during due diligence? Like, what are the must checks?
Well, first of all, you got to dive into the property's financial records.
Okay.
Look at past income and expenses, occupancy rates, any outstanding debts or listens. This will give you a good idea of the property's financial health.
It's like checking the property's vital signs.
Exactly. Next, you need to check out the property's physical condition.
Okay.
Get a qualified inspector to do a thorough assessment and tell you about any repairs or upgrades that might be needed.
So you can avoid any unexpected costs later on.
Yep, you got. It's also really important to understand zoning regulations
Okay.
and any restrictions that could affect your plans for the property.
Right.
For example, if you're thinking about turning a warehouse into a retail space, you need to make sure the zoning allows for that.
So your vision aligns with the rules and regulations.
Precisely. And don't forget to look at the local market conditions.
Good point.
Research the demographics, the competition, and the overall economic health of the area.
Okay.
You want to be sure there's demand for whatever business you're planning.
So your business has a good foundation, a market that's ready for it.
Exactly. Doing your due diligence helps you minimize risk, maximize your chances of success, and make a well-informed decision.
And Fire Squid Capital is there to support you every step of the way, right?
Absolutely. They're a true partner in that sense.
Okay, great. Now let's talk about choosing the right loan structure.
All right.
We touched on this earlier, but I think it's worth going a little deeper.
Yeah.
What are the key things investors should think about when choosing a loan structure?
One of the most important factors is your investment timeline.
Okay.
How long are you planning to keep the property? Are you looking to flip it quickly or hold on to it for a while? That'll help you decide if an amortizing loan, an interest-only loan, or a balloon payment loan is the best fit.
So the loan term needs to match your overall investment strategy.
Exactly. Another key thing to consider is your risk tolerance.
Okay.
Are you okay with interest rates that might go up and down, or do you prefer a fixed rate?
Right.
That's a personal decision that will help you decide between a variable rate loan and a fixed rate loan.
It's about finding that balance between risk and reward.
Yeah, and of course your financial situation is a big factor too.
Makes sense.
Lenders will look at your income, your debt-to-income ratio, and your credit history.
Uh-huh.
This helps them decide how much money you can borrow and what type of loan you qualify for.
So the loan needs to fit comfortably within your budget.
Exactly. And this is where Fire Squid Capital's expertise really shines.
Okay.
They really take the time to understand your situation, your goals, and your risk tolerance to help you pick the loan structure that works best for you.
It's like having a custom-built loan designed just for you.
That's a great way to put it. They understand that no two investors are the same, and they're all about providing personalized solutions.
We've covered a lot today.
Yeah.
It's been really helpful.
Good.
Before we move on, is there any last piece of advice you want to share with our listeners? Something that's often overlooked, but really important.
Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's a good one.
The world of commercial lending can be complicated, and there's no shame in admitting you don't understand something.
Right. It's easy to get intimidated by all the jargon, but lenders are there to help you.
Exactly. And Fire Squid Capital is known for being patient and supportive. They know that not everyone is a financial expert, and they're happy to explain things in simple terms.
They believe that an informed borrower is a confident borrower.
That's right.
So if you're ever feeling lost or confused, reach out to Fire Squid Capital.
Absolutely.
They're there to answer your questions and guide you.
They are. To get more information about Fire Squid Capital and its lending products, visit firesquidcapital.com. Welcome back to Fire Squid Capital Funding Edge as we wrap up our deep dive into commercial investment property loans. I'm really struck by the sense of possibility in David and Maria's stories.
Me too. Their journeys remind us that with the right approach and a partner like Fire Squid Capital, even those really ambitious dreams can come true.
Definitely. It all starts with a clear vision, a good plan, and the guts to take that first step.
And Fire Squid Capital is there to help turn those visions into real businesses. For our listeners who are feeling inspired, what would you say is the most important first step they can take?
The first step is easy reach out to Fire Squid Capital.
Okay.
Go to their website at firesquidcapital.com or give them a call.
Makes sense.
Their team is ready to answer questions, talk about your goals, and walk you through the whole process.
So start that conversation. Explore the possibilities and see how Fire Squid Capital can help you reach your investment potential.
They're your trusted partner in the world of commercial lending. They're all about empowering investors and helping them achieve their dreams.
So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this thought. What amazing project could you take on with the right financial partner?
Don't let fear or uncertainty hold you back. Explore those possibilities, connect with Fire Squid Capital, and see how you can turn your vision into reality.
That's all for this episode of Fire Squid Capital Funding Edge. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into commercial investment property loans. We'll see you next time. To get more information about Fire Squid Capital and its lending products, visit firesquidcapital.com.